Hello and welcome to the Radical SR8 Elites live on Apex Racing TV. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, and alongside me is Marco Barbanet with Sam Kume on the cameras. And we're here at Imola for this debut event. Should be good fun. 8 drivers out there currently, Marco, in this difficult car track combination. This car is not easy to drive. It's a bit of a handful, especially over the curbs as well, and that's really going to test these drivers today.
Yes, and of course we are at beautiful Imola, and it's a very, very challenging track. It has lost a bit of character, for the works that they did to improve safety in the mid-90s, but the latest renovations gave the track a little bit of its edge that lost back in the day in the mid-90s. Now we have a very, very fast final part of the lap with the removal of the Variante Bassa, and of course the usual stuff after the Tamburello chicane, go to the Villeneuve chicane, the Tosa corner is going to be a nice passing opportunity, going up the hill then, the always difficult corner of Acque Minerali, the Variante Alta as well. So it's going to put these drivers in a position of being under test basically every corner and every lap they take. So it's going to be very, very interesting. So let's remember, this is a fixed setup event, so the setup is the same for all the drivers. So I think, Sam, there's also this variable we have to consider, because you have to adapt to the setup basically.
Yes, absolutely. It's the high downforce setup provided by the admins of the Radical series this season. So unfortunately there isn't many Radical drivers here, but they should be relatively familiar with the setup. But it has got its characteristics. It's not absolutely perfect, and so the drivers will have to deal with that. But we've got a very high quality class of drivers today. We've also got the fancy overlay, the F2 style overlay, which is pretty cool. I think it looks cool, at least. Yeah, so you certainly look at that as you will. Should be very good, and maybe we'll use it in future races as well. Nicole Foggy goes to the pole position, Marco, and it is great to see. Whilst there is only 8 drivers today, it is great to see the likes of Nicole Foggy, Josh Thompson, and Michael Abdoka attending this event, and I'm sure they're going to be very evenly matched.
Yeah, absolutely. Quality is absolutely trumping quantity today, and we have some of the fastest drivers that you see almost every day at this point on Apex Racing TV, especially in the series like the BSR GT or the Euro V8s or the BSR-TC, of course. So it's going to be fantastic to see this driver battle it out in an unfamiliar condition, the fixed setup, in an unfamiliar car, in a beautiful track. And I have to say, yeah, this overlay looks fantastic. It's a nice change of pace. I like these brighter colors. And man, I cannot wait. We are 3 minutes away, more or less, the end of qualifying. And then it's going to be another classic race evening, and maybe, Sam, we can go over the format for tonight.
Yes, so this first race will be 12 laps. Should be about 20 minutes long, maybe a little bit less. And the second race will be 15 laps long. It will be a random reverse grid from this race. And then the last race will be 25 minutes long, so I think it's 18 laps the final race, and that will be another random reverse. So yeah, should be a good day of action. It's going to be difficult to get the triple today for these drivers, but I wouldn't bet against it. Of course, Michael Abdoka and Josh Thompson have done it before in the BSR GT, and of course next season, Marco, it's changing to the BSR Porsche. We'll just have a little word on what we're doing next season. But yeah, that should be an awesome series. And yeah, we've got another couple of other series that yeah, will be returning next season as well.
Absolutely, cannot wait for the BSR Porsche Cup. It's a car that I love, and I think it's a car that has proven to be a very popular choice, not only on iRacing but also in real life. We can see several Porsche Cups around the world using that same car. So it's a car that is very well known worldwide, that is a very tough car to handle, especially the brakes. We talked about it in the past few broadcasts, especially the later GT3 Grand Tour broadcast. And of course, once again, it puts everybody on an even footing, which is not always a guarantee for equality. Having a fixed setup, but that's a car that even if you used an open setup, the things that you can change are more to have a better feeling with the car than going faster. So it's going to be a challenge for all these guys to switch to the Porsche. Of course, no ABS, no traction control, a big change of pace from the GT3 cars.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be on Sunday evening, starting next week. We've also got the Le Mans series as well. We weren't sure if you were going to broadcast that about a week ago, but after a meeting earlier on, because we're organised people, we are going to broadcast it. So certainly tune in for that one. That'll be on Wednesday nights once again. And that should actually be the main strength of the field now, because Race Sport TV aren't broadcasting that next season. So yeah, we are very pleased to have that. The drivers just completing their laps now. Are they? I don't think there's really anyone in the second half of the lap. Michael Ducker's got this one left. He's got 28 seconds. But he will be eligible to complete his lap. They have only got 4 laps, and I think this must be Michael's 4th lap now. Yes, it is. Currently running in P3, a little bit distant of the top 2, who are not distant of each other. Josh Thompson currently on pole position by 1.5 hundredths, so very close between those 2.
And of course, we must not forget about the biggest news, I think, for Apex Racing TV coming next season, Sam, and it's going to be the Racing Grand Prix Championship, this new league that popped up out of nowhere, and it's going to be basically the best of the best open wheel racers in iRacing in this fantastic open setup league with the McLaren MP430.
Yeah, that will be an awesome league. Do not miss that one. Yeah, Sunday's midday. Do not miss that. That should be absolutely fantastic. 8 rounds to the end of the year. We are gridding up. It's Josh Thompson on pole position with Nico Foggy alongside him. It's Michael Ducker, Jean-Philippe Bousselin in 4th, Alex Welby in 5th. Clyde Whiting starts in 6th, and Davey Jansen, I think, will also take start in 7th. Stuart McFadden will not make it, but just Josh Thompson to get onto the grid, and it's going to be absolutely crucial for, particularly if Dotka and Bousselin, to get good starts if they're going to challenge those French drivers. It can be difficult to overtake around this circuit, so if they can just get the lead in the opening few corners, maybe they will be able to challenge. It's a decent run down as well into turn 1. Hopefully we're not going to see a crash. I'd normally be up for it, but there's not many of these cars. Here we are. Grid is set, and the SR8 Elites is away. Josh Thompson with a really good start there. Nico Foggy just having to sit in behind for now. Trying to actually challenge as Michael Tucker, but he might lose out here to Jean-Philippe Bousselin. Round the outside goes JP, but he can't quite make it, and he might be under pressure himself now from Alex Welby. He's managed to hold him back though, almost side by side for the lead, with Docker just about hanging on to 3rd. It's a clean start, Marco, fortunately. And it's a good start for Josh Thompson. Great launch off the line. Oh, a couple of spinners.
Are around, I think an independent spin as the remaining cars make their way up the hill towards the Piratella corner. Let's catch a replay of that. I think it was synchronized spinning, but no contact.
Yes, it was. Clyde's, what was that Dave? That was Dave, wasn't it? Who just seemed to get on the curb a little bit.
Yeah.
I did say earlier on. Yeah. Oh, here we are. Oh, dear, they've hit each other again.
And they are sitting in the grass as we get the leaders to the Variante Alta, all bumper to bumper basically in this first lap.
Must not pick up a slowdown on this opening lap through that section of corners. Has Foggy picked up a slowdown? Yes, he has. And he's going to drop down the field. He might drop right to the back of this chain, because it cost you so much time on that first lap. Might just be able to hang on against Alex Welby, but not the start Nico Foggy wanted.
Absolutely no. If you run a bit too wide there, you get a slowdown. If you run a bit too on the inside curb, you smash your floor and get a slowdown as well. So not what you want to do as the leaders complete the first lap. And we are side by side between Foggy and Robbie for fourth place. Sorry.
Foggy should be able to hang on to this one quite comfortably, and yes, he does. Just put it down the inside. And he is down 2 positions from his start, and to be fair, he's just going to try to be looking now. Maybe just for a podium, to be honest. Maybe P2 is on the cards, but only 12 laps this opening race, like I said earlier on, about 20 minutes. And this is just damage recovery. Maybe it will look strong for the reverse grid later on. He is straight away trying to chase down Jean-Philippe Bousselin just ahead.
Yeah, as Whiting and Janssen have been switching places for the entirety of this first lap, not only on the track but also on the grass. And now it seems that Janssen has made a big mistake because he's very, very far behind. You see, lost a lot of time. As Bousselin also, I think, is around and lost the podium 3rd position right now.
They do get a faster pair to these drivers, so if they really want to, they can... Oh, here was Janssen's one then. And that was just a little spin, and they nearly crashed into each other for the 3rd time on the opening lap. Don't know if we could get a replay of what happened to Bousselin, because he's really lost out as Bousselin is behind Robbie. I think it was just a spin, or maybe just a little bit of an off. Missed a couple of the most difficult corners in the world, in my opinion at least. And there you go, a small mistake, and he's lost a whole heap of time.
Yeah, and also I think a slowdown if you go that wide at Acqua Minerali. So, but now Bousselin is back in 4th because I think Robbie got a slowdown. So it's all happening, and the top 3 is Thompson, Evdoka and Foggy. So the top 3 I think we were expecting, with Thompson getting a little bit of an advantage over Evdoka and Foggy at the moment.
Yeah, on that last lap, Foggy was a little bit quicker than the race leader though. 3/10 taken out of him. So he is closing that gap in a little bit, but he has to clear, of course, Michael Evdoka nice and quickly. I don't think that's going to be too easy because Michael will not be too happy to give up this position. He wants to keep P2. He's probably got the pace to keep P2, but it does certainly look like Nicole Foggy has got the advantage on that last lap. He was over a second faster. And of course, Marco, in this car, very strong slipstream effects. Anyone who races this car will know that. It's, dare I say, unrealistic. You know, 7/10 back and you start gaining like 10 miles an hour or whatever. It's pretty insane. Around this circuit, not too many straights apart from the pit straight. And even down here, actually, he's going to be able to gain a little bit. Will he be brave enough on the brakes? Just settles in behind. But yeah, down this pit straight, he's going to have a great chance, Michael.
Yeah, we can think of this car as basically a formula with closed wheels, basically. It's extremely light and also extremely fragile. You want to avoid contacts as much as possible because otherwise you can damage your car. Look at the slipstream Foggy is getting. You were right, on the inside of Evdoka. And I think he will be able to complete the pass with ease coming into the Tamburello.
Yeah, Evdoka just letting him have that one. Maybe feeling as though maybe the top 2 will take each other out, or maybe he won't be able to repel him for the remaining laps. But yeah, up into 2nd position now, Nicole Foggy. And now the chase can begin after that slowdown earlier on, which lost him track position and a lots of time. He's only 2.6 seconds off the lead in Evdoka's round, and he might be losing a position here to JP Bousselin if he doesn't get away nice and quickly. And Bousselin is on the inside, and Bousselin is up into P3.
We get a replay of the spin, and man, this car is so tricky. Even a fast and experienced driver like Michael got caught out there at the Tosa. Quick 180 and back on the gas, but like you said, yeah, 1 position down. Bousselin is in 3rd.
Yeah, so he's going to have to make that back up, and of course Robbie is there as well. Robbie just had another really poor lap time there on 45.7. Don't know if we could try to find what happened to him. He just got a slow down there now. I think he's just taking a slightly alternative line through the chicane. But yeah, he's 2 seconds behind Evdoka. If he can just keep it clean, he might be able to get a podium still from this, because there's been so many mistakes, just highlighting the difficulty of this car.
Yeah, I mean, I got this car when it was paired with the HPD, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and it was so difficult to drive. Very, very tricky, and a terrible driver like me was hopeless driving this thing. So, but you know, it's a little bit reassuring, even though for all the wrong reasons, that even these guys are having some troubles here and there, trying to get this car around the Imola circuit. I mean, it's very surprising, but you know, Evdoka having problems, and other guys, as we see. The move on the outside from Evdoka, Buslen is defending in his blue car. I think that Michael will try to make the move as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he's got a bit of time today because he's not going to be able to fight the top two. They are nearly 10 seconds up the road, not really changing the gap between them. Beastman having to go defensive a little bit earlier on in the lap. But it's all about just waiting for your spot around this Imola circuit. Around this part of the circuit, there's really no chance whatsoever. And here was the mistake from Beastman. Was it a slowdown or just a mistake maybe? Or just an off? I think, yeah, it was just an off. Getting a bit of understeer. I was talking, Michael, a little bit off air how this car is, low speed understeer, high speed oversteer. And through that corner, yeah, kind of highlights of that.
Absolutely. As now Evdoka will try maybe for a move on the inside. No, he waits a bit. Locking the brakes is Buslen coming into the... Oh, no! He's around, and great job by Evdoka avoiding him at Rivazza 2. So now Buslen goes from 3rd to 5th. I don't want to take a look at the post-race chart because some of these drivers, even though in a small field like this, some of them have been all over the place basically. And Buslen, I think most of the guys on track has changed position so much in his first 6 laps, now down to P5.
Yeah, well, he's had a slowdown and a spin, I think, his Beastland. But couple that with Robbie's slowdown and a spin, and Evdoka's a couple of one spin, but lost him plenty of time. Yeah, he's been all over the place. Top two really not moving, not all over the place up here because on that last lap Thompson was 3/100ths of a second faster. These two are so evenly matched. They were evenly matched in qualifying as well. And are really pushing each other to the limits right now. Both superb drivers, of course, fighting for the World GT Championship, which is a very well-respected championship, and they've had to put a lot of effort into that. Josh Thompson, one of the leading drivers in the McLaren Shadow program. It's great to see these guys so evenly matched once again in this car as well.
Yeah, Foggy really came into his own this season between the BSRTC, the Euro V8s. He has been absolutely a surprise, and he's keeping his level constantly high, so well, I shouldn't think about him as a surprise because now he's I think he's here to stay. Very, very fast driver, and he's shown his abilities to adapt to very, very different kind of cars. So yeah, the second position today, absolutely not a surprise. Too bad for that mistake in the beginning of the race because otherwise he could have been much closer to Thompson and maybe fighting for that race win.
Yeah, absolutely. But we should still have two very good races coming up later in the evening. This one's not over yet. We've still got a few more laps to complete. 12 laps in this race, of course. And on that last lap, it was pretty evenly matched, although Foggy did manage to take 2/10 out. On this lap, though, he's already lost just over a tenth to Sector 2. There's 5 sectors around this track, so yeah, has just lost a little bit. And it's just a game of cat and mouse at the moment. Similar down here as well with Michael Evdoka holding on against Alex Robbie. On that last lap, Robbie lost a quarter of a second, but the lap before that, Robbie was considerably faster. That was due to Evdoka avoiding a spin. And Evdoka cannot afford another mistake, Marque, otherwise he's almost certainly going to fall behind the two drivers behind him.
Oh, look at Thompson losing it at Acque Minerali, and he lost a lot of time. It could have been a lot worse for him. Also got a slowdown, and basically Foggy is now just 1 second behind him. So, I mean, a big mistake by Thompson, but it could have been much worse for our race leader.
Yeah, absolutely. And now he's just about in the slipstream. Yeah, if the gap is up on the screen, you can see the gap charging down. It was 9 tenths before. It's down to 7 tenths. That's the the OP-ness of this slipstream Mozo, at least in this car. And now Foggy's within that distance. There's not too much turbulent air, and he should just be able to drag himself closer and closer to that rear wing.
I mean, you cannot lose your concentration in this car. Even Josh Thompson was caught out, so basically both Thompson, Foggy, and Doka, all the 3 top drivers in the race have been surprised at one point or another. And this fight is on, Sam, because I think that now Foggy is going to remain very, very close to Thompson for the race win, as Evdoka is dropping down 1 spot from 3rd to 4th, so something must have happened.
So more problems for Michael Evdoka, has already had a spin at the Tosa hairpin earlier on, and here was another instant for him. And was it at Tosa again? No, it was the Villeneuve chicane. He's actually made a bit of contact there. And with that damage, down the pit straight, he's going to be a sitting duck potentially to JP Boostland. And he's spun it again! So he's all over the place as Michael Evdoka, really struggling in this Radical SR8. 3 spins now for him. And down the field he goes.
And big damage to the rear wing now, so front end is smashed, rear wing is smashed. Oh, and also the Variante Alta C is sporting the Michael Schumacher helmet. He had so many wins around here, including one I watched live in 2002, so I'm a bit old. But that helmet is not proving to be a good omen for him, because I think he will have to hope for race 2 at this point, even for a podium. Let's see if he goes to the pits. Yes, he has to go to the pits. Car is completely destroyed.
Yeah, I know from this car, it can feel okay to drive, but you can still get a meatball flag, and that of course forces you to come to the pits. They do get a fast repair though, only 1. I wasn't too generous to them. It is only a 20-minute race, so they should be able to cope. And it's Boostland again! Ah, dear. And he's just lost it. Is that just the tyres, you think, Marco, just overheating?
He got a little bit of that speed bump on the inside of the Villeneuve chicane, but yeah, then he was able to control it, but I think it was too much on the tires, and then he lost the car when he put the gas down coming out of the chicane, so... Man, I'm really re-evaluating my time with this car, seeing all these mistakes again, for all the wrong reasons, as we see Foggy now knocking on the door of Josh Thompson.
3 laps to get the move done for Nicole Foggy. Remember, he was running down in P4 at one point in this race. Is it P5? He was certainly fighting to hold on to P4 at one point, but here he comes in the slipstream. Thompson, experienced driver, extremely good in race cars. He'll just stick it to the inside. Nicole Foggy to the outside. Can he muscle his way around here? And he might be able to do it. They're side by side here, a little bit on the curb there for Foggy, and it's just cost him too much time. Fantastic battling there, Marco, through the Tamburello chicane. And going into Villeneuve, this race is not over.
Yeah, worth noting in this last lap, Thompson was very slow, and now he's wide at the Villeneuve chicane. He's able to keep the car stable somewhat, and then down to Tosa. What a fantastic battle. Foggy, great comeback. Thompson under pressure. Wow, this is going to be extremely close until the end.
Just think we've got 2 more races of this between these 2 drivers dueling it out for the race victories. Going into Acqua Minerale now. Because, yeah, Variante Alta not going to be a chance for Danica Ravazza. Might be the next opportunity. You almost want to be behind, I think, Marco, going on to the last lap. It's an odd one. But, oh dear. Oh, and is Thompson going to be compromised? No, Janssen gets out of the way well.
Wow, that was very close, and also the smoke might have distracted this driver just a little bit when they were, tackling the very high curbs of the Variante Alta. I mean, with the slipstream that this car has, it's not a bad idea to stay behind coming out of the final corner. Let's see now if Foggy will be able to make a move.
As he got the overspeed, he's going to have the inside potentially for the Tamburello chicane. Thompson on the outside. Boy, does he need a good defensive move now. They're pretty much level. The momentum for Foggy was not enough. Thompson is going to try to muscle his way around the outside. He's not going to be able to do it though. And Nicole Foggy takes the race lead here at Imola. This one is not over with the slipstream effect so strong. You have no doubts that Josh Thompson will be able to fight back in these remaining stages.
Yeah, let's remember the start to finish line is basically where the front stretch makes that right hand kink. So there is where the drivers will get the checkered flag. So worth remembering. So there is a bit of it's not like Monza where you come out of the parabolic and it's immediately over. You have a bit of space to get your run going. And Thompson is not letting his pressure. He's not giving up. He's extremely close to Foggy. Oh, he's in the grass and Buslen as well. And Jansen, sorry. So bad course on my part, and Foggy can now cruise to the race win. I apologize profusely.
I think that's going to be a meatball flag as well for Josh Thompson. Pushing so hard. He didn't really need to push that hard, although, yeah, he's just struggling with the car. Synchronized spinning. How often have we seen that today? I think I might have to make a compilation of all these spins because it's such a difficult car to drive, clearly. Driver's really struggling, and Josh Thompson, I would not be surprised if he has to pull into the pits, and that would give second position to Alex Robbie. No, he's going to be able to carry on. Even if he does have a meatball, he should be able to complete the race because he's only got one more lap to go, so he won't get disqualified.
Exactly. You have 4 laps to serve a mechanical black flags, if I'm not mistaken. Having got a lot of them on the ovals in my career, so... But yeah, too bad because we were robbed of a fantastic last lap battle, I think. But this will be, a warning for all of these drivers, and I think they knew it coming into the race, but maybe they were taking it a little bit too easy with this, sorry, not too easy. They were being a little bit maybe too superb with the car. Let's say this car is absolutely, you have to treat it gently, otherwise doesn't care about your name, you are going into the barrier. So unbelievably, I have to say, after that first lap, it's going to be Nicole Foggy to take the checker flag.
Yeah, seemingly. Abdoka is also going for a move on Clyde Whiting as well, and that should be pretty simple for Michael Abdoka after a pit stop earlier on. And as long as we get a full reverse, he should be in a very strong position for the second race later on. But Nicole Foggy out in the lead. He's benefited from Josh Thompson's mistakes after a mistake of his own in race 1. It's not going to stop him though, taking the race victory here at Imola in the SR8 Elites. Nicole Foggy wins race 1. And that's a very good drive. After that lap 1, he was faultless. And Josh Thompson finished about 7 seconds behind. That race victory could have been his. But just a couple of mistakes in the second half of the race have cost him. But 2 more races of this marquee, and I'm sure that rivalry will ignite once again.
Absolutely, and cannot wait for race 2, to be honest, because I think all the drivers are exceptionally fast, but the Foggy, Thompson and Evdoka can absolutely put on a show. Michael, it seems to be the one that needs a little bit more caution because he had the most mistakes out of the top 3 guys in the race, but I am confident he's going to be faster in race 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we can now go through the final standings. Nicole Foggy wins race 1 with Josh Thompson finishing in second position. Alex Robbie did very well, didn't make too many mistakes. He did have 1 spin, but that was about it for him. He ends up on the podium 2 places further up than where he started. JP Boosterland finishes in P4 with Michael Abdoka after a pit stop in 5th. Then it's Clyde Whiting rounding out the field in 6th place with Dave Janssen finishing a couple of laps down in 7th. Sam, I think we have the reverse wheel.
Yes, we do. Let's get it on the screen and spin it. So considering the slipstream that we saw in the previous race, even with full -1, we should still see some good battles there.
Now, I didn't write the rules properly, so Dave Jansen, I think, is eligible because I didn't say that he wasn't. So that means that Clyde Whiting will be on pole position for race 2 of the evening. 6-car reverse, and should be very good. Of course, with Docker starting on the front row with Thompson 5th and Boggy in 6th. Do not miss that. We'll be back with you in about 25 minutes for the second race of the evening in the SR8 Elites. Richard Warmingham. Currently, Evdoka's just a little bit ahead of him. Warmingham does take that lead, and it's going to be awkward for these final few corners. Warmingham floors it. He's away quick. Evdoka actually gets a pretty good run, but he's not going to be able to challenge across the start-finish line just behind Steve Lavelli. Under pressure from Stuart McFadden already, but it's Warmingham away well from the pole position. Evdoka challenging into turn 1, and Lavelli having to go defensive against McFadden. McFadden looking to the inside. Could there be contact between these two? Not quite, but he's going to have to go defensive once again. Ayres just watching just behind. Jamie Ayres could not quite take that. Stuart McFadden nearly took third position at the start of the race, but they're losing each other a lot of time now. And the top three pulling away up ahead. Ayres is just concentrated on trying to make this move. He's gone to the outside, maybe came to a little bit of a dummy to the inside. Not quite. McFadden couldn't shove him off the circuit though, and round the outside goes Ayres. He just wants the cut back now, but they get on the power at a similar time. Slightly better traction there for Jamie Ayres, and McFadden is squeezing him right to the wall. That was good defense from Stuart McFadden. Ayres to the outside gain as the track narrows. Down the hill they go. A little bit deep on the brakes perhaps as McFadden, but there's not too much you can do on the exit of this corner because you're straight into the next complex. It's very much single file here, but Ayres goes into the back of McFadden ever so slightly, but that was nice defense from McFadden.
Quick glance at the front of that Mercedes, looks okay, as I think that is a dive bomb there. We see Callinan on the inside of Malcolm. BMW against Mercedes, and he makes the move.
Another one coming up, Colin Robinson, and here we go side by side. McFadden on the outside, Ayres on the inside. He's going to have It's going to be switched around though this time. Ez has got to try to just hold it around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next one, but can he just stay level? Yes, he can, Stuart McFadden. That is brilliant driving there to just get his nose ahead, and he's going to have the inside as well into this hairpin. This is the great racing you can get around Motegi. Can he just push Ez off? He tries to, and they make contact. That could have been a whole lot worse. Ez may still even have the inside for the hairpin, but he really got his run compromised by that move from McFadden. Evdoka in the slipstream, just watching behind as the other XVR driver of Steve Labelli. Evdoka will look to the inside, and he's gonna maybe have his nose cut off a little bit. Warmingham leaves too much space, and Evdoka is gonna have the inside for this next corner. No, he's not. The run from Warmingham was just about good enough. He's gonna have to go defensive once again here. Evdoka flashing his lights, and he's gone to the inside here. Warmingham round the outside, he's gonna have the inside for the next one, and he almost runs off the circuit now. Evdoka side by side, he's gonna have the inside for the next corner, and that should be job done for Michael Evdoka. That's a perfect move. Really driving well there, Michael, and he's into the race lead.
Everybody has joined this fight for 4th place, and I think the sooner Ayers can pass McFadden, the better for him, because otherwise these guys will go to town and try to make moves left and right. Great defending there, once again, almost 3 wide going to the hairpin now.
Oh, there's nearly into the back of him. I think that Ferrari has a nice little bit of straight line speed, doesn't it, which just allows him to fend off any attack. That is a surprise though from Ez, and he's trying to go for it at a corner that you would not dream of doing it, and it's going to leave him vulnerable now to Lane O'Connor. He's trying to move through. Cullinan nearly loses it in the background. Malcolm as well. Robinson trying to get involved. For now, it seems like McFadden's going to be fine. O'Connor to the inside of Jamie Ayres. The two Mercedes side by side, and they've made contact, and Ayres has lost 2 positions in a couple of corners. Yeah, the amount of cones dispatched there. Oh dear. Oh, down the inside. Oh wow, that was a nice attack from Ayres, and it's put Robinson off. That was brilliant from Jamie Ayres. That was a really nice little tactic to just glance to the inside, and he's got the power through this turn 6, and he's going to be able to pull ahead.
You see, Ayres is very, very close, but he's a little bit scared, I think, because it might happen that O'Connor car can glitch.
Inside of him.
Inside, yeah. That's a way to make a pass.
Deliberate, was it?
Oh man, he went straight through him and got the. Maybe that was the only way somebody could pass McFadden tonight, because he's making that Ferrari very, very large. Let's see a replay.
This must have been a mistake. Yeah, that was so a mistake. That was not a deliberate move. McFadden, though, could get pushed off a little bit.
Probably will not hit you, as Cullinan goes once again very wide there at the final corner, but I think he got a bit scared, because you see this car in the rearview mirror. It's suddenly so big. As he goes for a move on turn 1, he says, "You are."
Ayres goes through. Ambitious move from a long way back into turn 1, and he was a long way back. Yeah, it's very clumsy there from Stuart. Yeah, it wasn't even on the brakes, was it? He was just a bit too eager to get on the throttle. He's been bang on. Malcolm, just watching this, he's not going to get involved in any unnecessary collisions. That's been his tactic for the entire season. And how has that profited him, Marco?
I had talked to him after last week's this week's, I should say, MX5 race.
No, come on.
No. Oh man.
We're so sorry. But here we go. Michael Evdoka going to come round the final few corners here at Motegi, and he's going to take another race victory. He's had a real upturn in pace these past few weeks, and here he comes, Michael Evdoka, to take race 1 here at Motegi. And what a good drive that was from him. So James Underhill round the final chicane now. Scott Malcolm along with him. They haven't gone too early here. When will he go? James Underhill from the pole position, and away we go for race 2 of the evening. It's not a great start. No, so they haven't gone. They all got on the brakes, and have gone. That was chaos, and Underhill has got to a horrendous start. Dima also got a poor start. It's Malcolm leading the race, but I wonder if that's going to be a jump start for him. There could be contact, and there is contact. The XBR drove around. Ayres was in there as well, but it's Malcolm in the lead with Robinson right on his tail. McFadden perhaps sees a potential race victory. Stuart McFadden down the inside of Colin Robinson, and they go into turn 5 now, and he has got that position.
Very surprised that there was nothing major, because You know,
change for the lead, sorry.
change for the lead. Yeah, McFadden is in the lead.
He's now up into 5th position, up 5 places himself. Underhill is now down 6. What a chaotic first lap this is. And Dima's gone for the move. And that's a great move from Lee Dima on Colin Robinson.
And Malcolm went straight for the box, so he has a penalty.
And yeah, that's put his showdown chances maybe in a bit of jeopardy.
Synchronized spinning there. No contact, I think, between the two guys. Going to be very defensive here on the inside. Let's see what Evdoka has in store for him.
Going defensive straight away was Stuart McFadden. You can just about muscle your way around the outside here. And Evdoka's going to try to do it. He's going round the outside here. And that's going to be an awesome move from Evdoka. McFadden tries to force him off. And now it's going to be side by side going into this next section of course. If McFadden can just hang it round the outside, he's going to have a chance. Evdoka trying to stay in there, but just cutting him off is McFadden. Now heading down this pit straight. And I'm sure McFadden will go right to the inside, right to the pit wall. Evdoka looks to the inside. He cannot find a way through.
To McFadden, and there Ayres is flashing his lights to Evdoka as they go once again back to the double left-hander here that will bring them under the bridge for the first time of the 2 times they get under the bridge.
Oh, he's going to crash.
Hard hit for Evdoka.
Like it's going to be in the corner of the car.
He hit that ball at home.
Wasn't it?
Look at that, he went on the grass. Lost the drive a little bit even on the sand, and that was a very, very, very hard hit. And he's holding the wheel, you see on the right side, to go straight.
So he's right on the tail of Lee Dima. He's going to not qualify for the showdown. Either of these drivers, and Josh Thompson is going to look to the inside. Lee Dima not putting up much of a fight, and Thompson moves up into the top 3 positions. He was quite comfortable in the lead, seemingly had the pace to fend off his rival. But now this is super, super close. This is where McFadden hit Lane O'Connor in the last race, and look at Thompson. He's gaining. Not going to be in with a chance into turn 1, but someone who does fancy his chances is James. And now Thompson's going to go through 1. He's going to go through 2 maybe. This would be an incredible overtake. Josh Thompson takes the lead of the race from absolutely nowhere, and it's only taken him a handful of laps to go from the back of the grid to the front of the grid. And whilst these two carry on fighting once against one another, and there's going to be contact. Ayres is round. Dima moves up a position. Thompson in the lead.
Using the 2 dueling drivers as a pick basically, and getting into the corner in 3rd position and getting out of it in 1st position, as we see more contact there. I think that was Max Wright in his red car. Oh,
contact.
Stevens, save it. Oh man, in the gravel, 3 wide there, wasn't going to work, as McFadden is defending now from Lavalli. And now he's blinking.
Yeah, we haven't talked too much about Lavalli, and actually this time McFadden not defending. That's very uncharacteristic of him today.
Evdoka extremely close to McFadden there. He had to lift, otherwise there would have been contact. Lavalli is off. Lavalli had a very, very bad corner.
Oh, he's off again, and he's hit the wall. Well, he looked so strong, didn't he? And just lost it early on there. Maybe overheated the tyres a little bit. I just got on the grass, and it's clumsy there, similar to what Evdoka did, but with far worse consequences.
Let's see how will McFadden defend, of course, like he always does, all on the inside. Great run from Evdoka.
This is a repeat of the situation they had earlier on in the race, but Evdoka that time didn't feel the confidence to stick it on the inside. To be fair, McFadden was super late on the brakes, and that's compromised his run coming out of the final corner. And Evdoka sees a gap down the inside, but McFadden was not going to give him that gap, and Evdoka growing a little bit frustrated, and he's taking a slightly surprising line down into turn 1. This was the last lap of the race. Dima tries to go for a move, and Evdoka's a little bit late in covering off, almost blocking off the Mercedes, and he might run into the side of McFadden. He has done. McFadden gets back the right way, but he's lost 2 positions straight away there. He might lose 4. Evdoka into 2nd place.
I mean, you are right. It was pretty clear from his body language that he was getting restless. And now a dive bomb from Jamie Ayres, and somebody's around. Yeah, it's Dimmer in the grass.
Yeah, Josh Thompson coming round the final complex of corners now. In that McLaren, he's not going to challenge the championship now, but Josh Thompson crosses the line to win at Motegi. Race 2 of the evening goes his way. Here we go. Evdoka second, Thompson first. Gonna round the final corner for race 3 of the evening, and away we go. Josh Thompson away really well in Evdoka. I thought he might have a good launch. It hasn't turned out that way because Ayres is pressurizing him into turn 1, but not quite. Ayres just has to back up.
At night we have to maybe have a bit of a adjustment on braking points, etc. As we see, Evdoka very aggressive and good defending from Thompson on the inside as Wormingham tries to attack Robinson, and I think he will be successful in this double right-hander under the bridge. The top 3 are extremely close, and I really want to see Evdoka do well in this race, and I want to see what his pace is.
Oh, he's hit him! That
man.
was very clumsy from Jamie Ayres, but Evdoka's kind of got away with it. He's going to lose out to Robinson and Dima. We've seen a lot of contact there, and Ayres is apologising a lot there profusely.
You think that flashing lights is code for apologizing?
Yesterday in the Euro V8, and that was very different equipment, very different circuit, and that was warming up. Oh dear! So many drivers have done that, Marco. Getting on the grass, and it's just, guys, stay within the white lines because it's suicide going up there. Might be able to extract a little bit more pace from it, just because I think he's got a little bit of damage on that car, and of course we saw earlier on.
Extremely fast stop.
Yeah, really
5
quick.
seconds. 4.5 seconds. Hopefully put enough fuel in the car.
Curveball coming in. On that last lap, on his first fast lap, Michael Evdoka 46.86. Josh Thompson 47.61. That's almost a second difference. And here comes Wormingham actually really close on Thompson. And we look to the inside here. Richard Wormingham, that's been as close as he's been.
It's an 8-second stop for Richard Wormingham. Neck and neck for the position here, and Wormingham is ahead.
They matched each other through sectors 4 and 5, and Josh Thompson's still stationary. He's still stationary. It's 11-second stop, and that's surely going to be enough for Richard Wormingham to take the lead of the race. Josh Thompson might even be behind Michael Evdoka. He is. He's down into P3, and he's got all the work to do now. I don't know if we could just ride on board with him maybe for half a lap or so. Just see if he's lifting and coasting, because I'm surprised by this downturn in pace, because you remember on his first full lap.
He's in.
Wormingham rounding the final few corners now. Here he comes, Richard Wormingham, to take race 3 here at Motegi. Fantastic drive from him.
Yeah, the Mac is not good. Let's just clear that up. I'm just going to clear this up now. It's the worst GT3 on the grid, by a mile. The Merc drove up to me by about 4/10 on the straight. The Audi has more mechanical grip. It's just an absolute weapon of a car. I was having to try so hard just to keep it on the track.
Then we'll be back with us for that Phillip Island round, the final round before the showdown. How much will the points matter there? It's still looking really close in the standings. We will be back next time, and from me, from Market, and from Sam, we'll say goodbye and we'll see you next time. Lee Dima is now only a second behind Lap Cullen. I don't know how that's happened. Cullen was about 8 seconds ahead at one point.
Dima has
And
been
now-
flying.
Yeah, a second a lap, every lap. You know what, that kind of slow speed down the straights of the BMW may not be too costly, but Dima, he's got so much more...
Oh, Cullinan
Oh.
with the big slide through the exit of
wow,
fuel
he's under
nerve.
pressure.
Now he's really got to hold the inside line in Toza. Now, oh, Dima gets a great exit. Cullinan's going to have to block the inside into Piratella, surely. Surely he has to come across. Dima's going to be through here, is he? No. These GT3 cars, they are quite large. So, you know, your vision can be
Oh,
obscured.
he's got the run here.
This is a great exit. This could be a chance.
God, just go
And this time
all
he's
out on the
really,
outside.
really deep on the outside, and Cullinan loses rear, but he still somehow manages to fire the BMW out of the Tosa hairpin, level with the Mercedes, and the BMW is maintaining the straight line speed with the Mercedes. Here we go into Piratella. He throws it in, Cullinan. Does he have the adhesion? Does he have the grip? Yes, he does, is the answer. Dima tries to cut back, but Cullinan is on the inside for Aqua Minerale, who is no overtaking through here. Now, Sam, this could be the moment for Dima. Maybe not into Variante Alta now, but he needs to just have a good chicane and set him up. Cullinan is breaking in the middle of the course. Just
he's
not
wide.
the optimal line.
Oh, he's got to defend here. Gotta go all out defense line. Get to the
Oh,
inside,
he
get to the
pushes him, he
inside.
hits him. Makes a bit of contact on the straight now.
Oh, he's trying to steal the dummy. Oh, you got to defend. You got
Is he
to
going to have a
defend.
second chance? Is he going to be down the inside? Cullinan
Oh,
goes
wide.
deep. He goes deep on the
He's got
brakes. He's
him.
on the grass. And Lee
they can
Dima's
get the
through,
run off.
but it's the final corner. And can Cullinan respond to that passing move by Dima? He's going to be very close. The line's coming up. Cullinan's got the shortest run, but I think it's going to be Dima. It is indeed. Lee Dima gets to the line and wins a brilliant battle. Brilliant.
Welcome back to the Radical SR8 Elites here at Imola. Broadcasting live on Apex Racing TV. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me is Marco Barbonet with Sam Kumo on the cameras. And we just saw a fantastic battle, Marco, for the race victory in race 1. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for those two protagonists to get up through the grid in this race. They're starting down in 5th and 6th. But it should still be an awesome task for them to make their way up the grid in this 15-lap race.
Yes, it's going to be a tough race, and the track conditions are absolutely dreadful because we are going to have a very, very hot and slippery track surface. So there were a lot of mistakes in race 1, and I think we are going to see more of them in this upcoming race 2. I'm expecting a lot from a couple of drivers, especially Michael Evdoka. He has to redeem himself, and also Josh Thompson will want to, redeem himself as well after that costly mistake on the penultimate lap of race 2. And I think, Sam, that we are almost ready to go.
Yes, and we can go through the grid for you now. Michael Abdoka on pole position. Did I mess that up? Oh, I'm not sure.
No.
Jean-Philippe Bousselin
It's
in
right.
second. Was
No, I will shut up.
Bousselin starts in second with Whiting in third. Then it's Robbie, Thompson, Foggy, and Janssen. We are about to get away here. The engine's roaring from the line, and race 2 of the SR8 Elites is away. Michael Abdoka with a really good start. JP Bousselin should be able to hang on to P2 going into turn 1. But he might even be able to challenge Abdoka into turn 1. Abdoka on the inside, he should just be able to hang on there. Bousselin was really challenging there. Thompson up ahead of Robbie already, and he's going to try to get past Clyde Whiting now as well. Whiting might just be able to hang on here into the Belnose chicane. No, he cannot. And actually going through there. Who's that off the circuit? That was
Robbie.
dropping down the field. Thompson's still not got this one done against Clyde Whiting. Has lost him a little bit of time. Nicole Foggy up to 5th himself.
I think it was right, full -1, so yeah, Evdoka was going to be on pole position. That is sorted, Evdoka is in first, Bousselin is in second, and then there's a huge battle behind them for P3. Thompson, Foggy, Whiting, Janssen and Robbie very, very close to each other as we get to the Acque Minerali. And see a move there on the outside, Foggy over Janssen, fantastic battling.
Yeah, so Foggy moves up into P4. He's got to try to chase down Josh Thompson for the second time today. Oh, and round goes Janssen. And it's just so easy to mess it up. Of course, I've been driving the MP4-30 a little bit this week in the Week 13 Fun Series, and that's really difficult to drive. I'm not saying that this is more difficult to drive, but the Joes are making it look as though it is.
As Thompson, I think, is profiting from a mistake from Bousselin, maybe a slowdown, because he's about to lose third place as well to Nicole Foggy, yes. So it's Evdoka, Thompson and Foggy, 1, 2, 3, as Robbie is going for a move on Whiting in the background.
Yeah, hasn't been able to make that move though, and yeah, Whiting hanging on to that one for now. Oh, Bousselin's still serving the slowdown. Oh, that's how annoying the slowdowns can be on the first lap. I don't know if I doubt he's got a black flag for that one. I don't know if I'd know or something. I could clear it if I wanted to. Oh, damn, I'm not even going to go into that. But Whiting, yeah, ahead of Robbie still. Top 3 though, already establishing themselves, Marco. And I think this is interesting because I think Evdoka's probably the slowest out of the top 3. Foggy is the fastest, and they're first and third, respectively.
Yes, and of course Evdoka needs to get his mistakes out of his head and drive cleanly and of course if possible in a very, very fast way. Not going to be easy of course with the pressure of these two other fantastic drivers right behind him. This corner here, I mean, it's so easy to go wide and get that slowdown as Thompson is extremely close now to Evdoka.
Well, he go defensive, Michael Abdoka. He feels the need to, even though maybe Thompson wasn't going to go for the move. And this means Foggy's right into this one. And he's going to have a double slipstream. This could be a fantastic battle going into turn 1. And Foggy's got a fantastic launch as well. This will be great to view from his perspective. Him just closing down on the 2 drivers ahead. Abdoka going to super defensive really early. Thompson has he got the overspeed to make his way around the outside. And Foggy now is closing in on the pair of them. He's not going to be able to make an impact though. It's just too narrow the circuit. Abdoka's doing everything he can to hold on to P1. He's done brilliantly, nailed the braking zone. And he's been able to repel Thompson for one more corner.
Yeah, easy to pass into the Villeneuve chicane, so I'm not expecting any moves, but you have to be very careful coming out of this chicane. Very easy to go wide, very easy to spin the tires. They remain bumper to bumper going up the hill. What a fantastic battle, Sam.
Yeah, Abdoka's going to have his work cut out to hold off these 2 drivers for the entire race. Thompson again to the outside. He can kind of make the moves around the outside here because you get the inside for the next corner, and that is what Josh Thompson has done. Can Foggy get involved as well? He might just be able to switch to the inside here. No, he's not. And Thompson takes the race lead, and if these 2 start fighting, the slipstream could be broken amongst these top 3.
As they come to the Variante Alta, gotta be very, very careful here on the brakes and on the curbs. All 3 drivers are able to stay within the track confines, as now we are going down the hill, and I think Thompson will try to use these bits of using Evdoka as a way to get a little bit of a gap between himself and Foggy, because I think Foggy will eventually get past Michael. Little bit of a moment there for Thompson. Let's see if Foggy goes for the move here in the first corner.
Well, Docker's not going to be far behind, to be fair. Going into Tamburello. And look at this, Foggy's going to be right onto the tail of Thompson. He might be able to go for a double overtake here. There's a double
Foggy's around!
And Foggy is around. He's been lucky to do a perfect 360. I don't know whose fault that was. I don't know if we could just get a replay from Evdoka's on board, whether he understood or not.
That was very, very close quarter battling, and with these cars, just a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of a touch. Was there a touch? Because I think they were extremely close. Maybe a little bit of lag involved in there. But still, not a lot of damage to the cars. I think the cars are perfect, and Evdoka will lead the charge and try to get back to Thompson.
Yeah, now Foggy's going to have to do it again. It was, if it was Evdoka's fault, it was, a very small mistake from him, because, yeah, there was barely any contact between the two of them. And like I said, Marco, there may have not been any contact whatsoever. Alex Robbie's just got past Clyde Whiting, I think. I saw that change a little bit. So Robbie finally making that move. It's taken him a while, despite seemingly being a lot faster than Clyde Whiting. And was it a mistake from Whiting? Yeah, we saw that earlier on from Thompson and from Evdoka, I think, and from Busalan, I think, as well. All spinning at that corner, but Robbie up into P4, and if he stays resolute, if these two have a bit of a collision market, he could profit and end up on the podium again.
Man, we were extremely close to getting a 3-car pile-up between the top 3 guys, and Thompson was lucky to escape any possible contact as they're going side by side into a Tamburello with Foggy on the outside and Evdoka on the inside. Very hard on the brakes. Be careful, guys. Over the bumps is Foggy. I think that's gonna be a slowdown. No. Maybe some damage to his under tray. He stays in front, but of course this is making Thompson very, very happy, because he will be able to build even more gap between himself and these guys right behind him.
Yeah, Foggy gets it done then, but yeah, the damage potentially on the underside of his car could be costly, even if it is just a couple of tenths per lap costing him. He needs everything he can get to close a 4.5 second gap that Thompson has got. Remember, he managed to challenge Thompson in the last race, largely down to a mistake from Thompson, which invited him into his slipstream. And it was a couple of other half mistakes from Thompson as well, which allowed Foggy past. So yeah, it's going to be super difficult for him to bring back. JP Busalan is out of the race seemingly. Don't know if we could get a replay of maybe what happened to him, or if it was a mistake, or maybe he just had to get away. And yeah, really struggling with the car there, Busalan. And yeah, that was the end of his race. Hopefully he'll be back with us for race 3 of the evening.
Thompson, you see, coming out of Rivazza 2 is in the lead. I think that Evdoka got a slowdown somewhere along the way. I think he got the slowdown on the outside of the Acque Minerali corner. Sam Kumu with the replay, let's see, because I think he went really wide. Yeah, 4 wheels on the left side of the curb. You cannot escape that slowdown.
You can see his alternative line through the Variante Alta, Marco, not taking as much curb as his competitors. I think that's really costing him quite a bit of time, but it's not as simple as saying take more curb, because go ever so slightly off the ideal line and you're guaranteed to spin.
Yeah, and also this being, like I said in the beginning, a Formula car with quarter panels on top of the wheels, you want to avoid the curbs as much as possible. They will unsettle the car. You can damage not only your under tray, but also the front part of the car, which has all the little aerodynamic appendages that are so important, especially here when you want to get that good speed in the front stretch, and of course have decent drivability through the corners. But you see, Evdoka is not shy, especially on the entrance, and also, like I said, you have to be very careful coming on the outside because that curb is going to push you towards the outside. And if you go too much on that green stuff on the outside of the Variante Alta, guess what? Another slowdown, and those can cost, especially if the top 3 guys are so fast with a similar pace. When you make a mistake and lose time, it's tough to get back to the car in front of you, unless he makes a mistake.
Yeah, and also, you know, that kind of artificial grass, or whatever it is, extremely difficult on the traction, which of course increases the chance of a spin, but also just slows you down. It just you can't get as much power down as quickly. But around this circuit, you almost have to do that because it just extends the track width on the exit, and you kind of got to have that just to gain a little bit more speed through the corners, and it's almost worth it. Currently, the gaps between the drivers 2 seconds or more against each driver, but it will be interesting, I think, Marco, to see if Alex Robbie can make an impact on Michael Evdoka. Evdoka, of course, has made a couple of mistakes today, but Robbie seems relatively calm, relatively secure there, and after not a brilliant start from him, he is going to be able to at least put some pressure on Michael at the end of this race.
Yeah, and let's not forget, race is a little bit longer, track is very hot, so mistakes. Oh, I think Evdoka did just add a mistake because he lost almost 1 second to the car in front of him. Let's see, Acqua Minerali, the dangerous corner of the day. He was able to save it. Oh, then he lost it again, but avoided any major damage. I was saying race is going to be a bit longer than race 1, and I heard the drivers complain about tire wear during race 1, so it will be even more of a factor during race 2, I think.
41 degrees Celsius, the track out there, afternoon time of day. So yeah, the track extremely warm. Fortunately, race 3 will be late afternoon, so it will be considerably cooler than this. But this is as tough as it gets. 41 degrees. I think maximum around this circuit is something like 45. So yeah, super difficult for these drivers, and you could of course see them struggling in race 1. Robbie now within 5 seconds of Evdoka, but slower on that lap despite the mistake. Alton Lee Thompson just consolidating that lead currently, 0.3 of a second faster than Boggy on that last lap. It's not really about pace, I think, at this point, Marco. It's just about whether Thompson can remain error-free and whether or not he's going to push the line a little bit too far in that Radicals Online car.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to stay, don't want to slow down, because sometimes if you slow down, as maybe Jensen has towed back to the pits because of a problem, get a replay. Basically, Villeneuve chicane and Acqua Minerali have been terrible for these drivers today. Lots of mistakes in these 2 corners. So I was saying, knowing this, knowing the problems that we see, another replay. Now we are at the Acqua Minerali, and Whiting proceeding slowly because there was Alex Robbie's car stuck on the outside. So yeah, I wouldn't classify that as a curse, because it was technical analysis. But yeah, those 2 corners are absolutely terrifying with this car, and who knows, because even the top drivers have been caught out there, so it's going to be hard for Thompson, Foggy, Evdoka and all the others to keep it cool for an additional 6 laps.
Yeah, I was promoting Alex a couple of laps ago, saying how, you know, he looks very secure. So it's a minor curse. There was, you know, 3 minutes between me saying it and him having a spin, so I'm not taking that one. But yeah, Foggy running in P2 and Robbie down into 5th position. Going to have to pass Whiting for the 2nd time today, but he's 7 seconds behind, so that's looking relatively unlikely. Yeah, Foggy now within 4 seconds. He was 0.2 faster on that last lap. On this lap, 1.5 faster through the first sector, 0.5 faster through the second sector. So he's seemingly making up a bit of time. It seems like it's going to be too late. Is Thompson maybe just backing off, you think, Marco, or is Foggy just trying to push even harder?
I I think last lap Foggy was a little bit faster, but let's see, because he went very, very wide. Shouldn't be a slowdown, or maybe it is. Let's see now. I think it's not, but barely, and you don't want to go that wide there. You're going to lose time. That's not the ideal line. Also, again, because you are millimeters away from a slowdown. I mean, let's see the lap times this time around as lap 10 begins. Thompson is 139.7, 139.6, so another small gain by Foggy, but it's not enough, I think, due to the gap. Something must happen to Thompson if Foggy wants to get back into the fight for the lead. Like I said, it's not out of the question, because these guys are really on the edge. Thompson knows he has a good gap. As you see, Foggy going very, very fast. So you know that Foggy is pushing hard. That's out of the question.
On that last lap, he made up another 10. He didn't really gain too much time in the latter sectors. He was, but by the midpoint of the lap, by sector 3, he was about 4 tenths up in that lap, and then he managed to lose 1.5 tenths through the 4th sector and a tenth through the 5th. So he kind of undid all his good work, and it's actually gone up a little bit more on this lap. Lost about 1.5 tenths through the opening half, and he's a little bit squirrely as well as Nico Foggy. You can see his rival just up the road, but it's not seeming as though the car is getting any closer to him. Robbie is closing the gap. He's 6 seconds behind Clyde Whiting. On that last lap, he was over a second faster. But with that mistake, he's made it a hell of a lot more difficult for himself, because that's just undone his good work. Lost a second and a half plus a bit of a slowdown as well, I think. And a top 4 looking extremely unlikely for him now.
You know, that corner there is a bit of a difficult conundrum, especially for the designers of the track, especially in iRacing, because sometimes if you go wide there, you can effectively gain on your opponents. As Robbie goes straight through at the Rivazza 1. But sometimes I think it's enough of a punishment to miss the corner there, but on top of that, you are going to get a slowdown regardless. So in this case, Alex was severely punished, and he lost all the remaining chances he had at getting to Whiting.
Yeah, certainly seems that way. Gap out in the lead, gone back down again. 2.7 seconds. Thompson was faster on their last lap, but on this lap, 3 tenths faster was Foggy through the first sector, and about 1.5 tenths faster through the second as well. So he's clawing it back again, and we will have race 3. I kind of want Thompson to win this one, Marco, and then whoever wins race 3 can kind of be declared the evening winner. I think that's the way it's looking right now.
I can tell you one thing. I was a few years ago at my local track, Vallelunga, of course, and there was a quadruple header split between Saturday and Sunday of support races for a championship that was basically the 2016 champion edition of that championship, and it was done over those 4 races. So at the end of the day, on Sunday, we had an Italian champion of that category after 10-minute races, basically. So they used a point system just like it was like a proper championship, and then next season they did the series over like a regular 10 race days over different tracks. So I don't know, did you devise a point system for today?
Well, I was actually going to do one, and then I thought, is there really any point? Because, yeah, I don't know, I should have done. What can we do? That's our if anyone knows on the chat, what can we, like, give to the winner at the end of this race? What can we commemorate them? Like a crown or something. It may cost a bit of money to, ship it over, but, I'm in the UK, and looks like a UK Joe's going to win this. So, yeah, give us your ideas.
I mean, you just have to go to the local Burger King to get a crown, so it should be low expense, I think.
Maybe we can get like a Christmas cracker or something and get one of them, paper hat. Evdoka very much by himself. 12.5 seconds to the car ahead, 13.5 seconds to the car behind, but at least he has been error-free for the most part in this race, and actually on that lap was faster than Josh Thompson, and only slightly slower than Nico Foggy. Foggy actually on that lap was 7/10 faster, but the gap is still 3.5 seconds. It's not gonna close, I think, unfortunately. Let's see on this lap what the time is. So Thompson will cross the line, and he does a 39.6, much better lap from Thompson, and Foggy does a 39.52. So yeah, not much difference whatsoever. Just got 3 more laps to go in this race 2 of the evening.
Well, once again, a mistake or, unfortunate moment is proving costly for Foggy. In race 1, he was able to overcome it, also with a bit of luck because of Thompson's mistakes. In this race 2, it seems like that won't happen. I think he is faster than Thompson, even if ever so slightly, but he is faster. But this time around, Thompson is not making any mistakes, and so another lesson to learn for race 3, I think, for Foggy. He knows he has the pace over his 2 main contenders. He needs to stay out of trouble. Like I said, race 1 he was lucky and good. Race 2, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, he made up for his errors in race 1, didn't he? Doesn't look like he's going to get away with it in this race. To be fair, it wasn't an error. It was Michael Evdoka just tapping his rear corner, which has put us in this situation. I don't know if we could just go back to that instant, see just another angle of it, maybe from the chopper or something, because it was the tiniest contact. And of course, Michael was saying earlier on how maybe there wasn't any contact, maybe it was just a bit of netcode, but yeah, here we are.
Great camera action here on the slowdown. So you see Foggy on the outside. It was very, very close to being a 3-car crash. It looks like there's little to no contact there. And you notice that Evdoka moved a little bit on the right. I think because he panicked for a second or a split second that he was going to run into Thompson there coming into the corner. So could have been a lot worse, but again, it seems like if there's contact, it's the slight. Sadly, he got Foggy on the left rear corner of the car, basically on that left rear quarter panel where it turns into the back end of the car. So if you get touched there, it's almost a guaranteed spin.
Yeah, it was just, pushing. You could probably push one of these cars over with one of your fingers, because in that corner at least, the car just so on the edge, and yeah, just that tiny bit of a tap, and that was enough. Fortunately, no damage for either of those drivers, and it looks like they're going to finish in 2nd and 3rd places. Foggy, yeah, down to 3 seconds for a moment. That just extended up a little bit again. Should be an awesome race 2. Of course, Robbie has dropped back a bit. He's 16.3 seconds off Clyde Whiting now. So that's not going to be a factor. It's a little bit faster. So, yeah, Marco, do you think maybe Robbie and Evdoka and maybe even Whiting as well, do you think they're going to be able to make an impact in race 3 if we get a full reverse grid? Or do you think it's very much just going to be the Thompson-Foggy show once again?
I think that Thompson and Foggy have the pace advantage, with Foggy being, like I said, a little bit quicker, with Michael just a bit behind them. I would like to see a clean race from everyone, to see their effective pace, and hopefully, especially in the top of the field, I want to see these 3 top guys battle it out for the race win. For the other guys, it's going to be a bit hard, because since the field is not very, very, very large, Thompson, Foggy, Evdoka are going to get to the front, I think, no matter what. So it's not like they have to go through 20 cars to get back to the front, with imagining like a hypothetical very, very large reverse. So I think more of the same for race 3. Foggy will not want to make any mistake, and same goes for Evdoka. I cannot say anything about Thompson because he has been absolutely perfect in this race. Oh!
That was very close, wasn't it? That was nearly the front corner out of. He's been absolutely giving it his all, to be fair, Nicole Foggy, for about 10 laps since he got clear. And yeah, he's been pushing it to the absolute limit. Doesn't look like he's going to yield the race victory. But the driver who is, Josh Thompson, crosses the line to take race 2 of the evening here in the SR8 Elites. And that was a very, very good drive there from Thompson. Did not make the mistakes in race 1. In fact, in that race, he was absolutely flawless. Got past Michael Evdoka nice and quickly. And in the end, it was Nicole Foggy with a small tap from Evdoka, which perhaps cost him his second race victory of the day.
Nice show of respect between the two guys. As Evdoka also crosses the finish line, we are waiting on Whiting and Robbie. Nice Mercedes-like action, side by side, like it was last week at Monza. Here comes Whiting, and we are just waiting on Robbie to show you the final race results. For you can see that Whiting car with the Euro V8 sponsorship on the sides. So of course, don't miss next Saturday because the Euro V8s are back.
Yes, that is at Road America, isn't it? It's actually very good. 2 races for that. Anyway, in this race, Josh Thompson from 5th on the grid takes away the race victory, with Nicole Foggy ending up in 2nd. Michael Evdoka fighting for the lead in the early stages. He just did not have the pace, though. He ends up in 3rd, nearly 18 seconds off the race victory. Clyde Whiting, good drive from him. He made pretty much the fewest errors of anyone out there in 4th. Alex Ory made a few mistakes himself in 5th, but should start high up in the reverse grid, with Dave Janssen finishing 8 laps down and JP Boostan 11 laps down in 7th position. And Sam, I think we have the reverse grid for the final race of the evening.
Yes, we do. The wheel has been ready and waiting here for a while. I think maybe the next race we will have a little bit more grip, so maybe perhaps the drivers were a little bit suffering with the traction here. But let's see what we get. It will be full.
Hooray! Okay, so because I'm bad at writing rules, I'm going to say JP Boostline's on pole position. The thing is, I'm the admin here, aren't I? I can say anyone's on pole. But JP Boostline, I think, is on pole position because it is a full reverse grid. Dave Janssen starting in 2nd, so I think that's a Phantom 71 1-2 then. So certainly do not miss the final race of the evening. Should be in, I don't know, however long the gap between race 1 and race 2 was, like 25 minutes or something, 30 minutes, for race 3 of the evening. See who will, take home the Radical SR8 Elites Cup. Richard Warmingham. Currently, Evdoka's just a little bit ahead of him. Warmingham does take that lead. And it's going to be awkward for these final few corners. Warmingham floors it. He's away quick. Evdoka actually gets a pretty good run, but he's not going to be able to challenge across the start-finish line just behind Steve Labelli. Under pressure from Stuart McFadden already, but it's Warmingham away well from the pole position. Evdoka challenging into turn 1. Labelli having to go defensive against McFadden. McFadden looking to the inside. Could there be contact between these two? Not quite, but he's going to have to go defensive once again. Ayres just watching just behind. Jamie Ayres could not quite take that. Stuart McFadden nearly took third position at the start of the race, but they're losing each other a lot of time now. And the top three pulling away up ahead. Ayres, though, is just concentrated on trying to make this move. He's gone to the outside, maybe came to a little bit of a dummy to the inside. Not quite. McFadden couldn't shove him off the circuit, though, and round the outside goes Ayres. He just wants the cut back now, but they get on the power at a similar time. Slightly better traction there for Jamie Ayres, and McFadden is squeezing him right to the wall. That was good defense from Stuart McFadden. Ayres to the outside gain as the track narrows. Down the hill they go. A little bit deep on the brakes perhaps as McFadden, but there's not too much you can do on the exit of this corner because you're straight into the next complex. It's very much single file here, but Ayres goes into the back of McFadden ever so slightly, but that was nice defense from McFadden.
Quick glance at the front of the Mercedes, looks okay, as I think that is a dive bomb there. We see Cullinan on the inside of Malcolm. BMW against Mercedes, and he makes the move.
Another one coming up, Colin Robinson, and here we go side by side. McFadden on the outside, Ayres on the inside. It's going to be switched around though this time. Ayres has got to try to just hold it round the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next one, but can he just stay level? Yes, he can, Stuart McFadden. That is brilliant driving there to just get his nose ahead, and he's going to have the inside as well into this hairpin. This is the great racing you can get around Motegi. Can he just push Ayres off? He tries to, and they make contact. That could have been a whole lot worse. Ayres may still even have the inside for the hairpin, but he really got his run compromised by that move from McFadden. Evdoka in the slipstream, just watching behind as the other XBR driver of Steve Labelli. Evdoka will look to the inside, and he's gonna maybe have his nose cut off a little bit. Warmingham leaves too much space, and Evdoka is gonna have the inside for this next corner. No, he's not. The run from Warmingham was just about good enough. He's gonna have to go defensive once again here. Evdoka flashing his lights, and he's gone to the inside here. Warmingham round the outside. He's gonna have the inside for the next one, and he almost runs off the circuit now. Evdoka side by side, he's going to have the inside for the next corner, and that should be job done for Michael Evdoka. That's a perfect move. Really driving well there, Michael, and he's into the race lead.
Everybody has joined this fight for fourth place, and I think the sooner Ayres can pass McFadden, the better for him, because otherwise these guys will go to town and try to make moves left and right. Great defending there, once again, almost 3 wide going to the hairpin now.
Oh, Ayres nearly into the back of him. I think that Ferrari has a nice little bit of straight line speed, doesn't it, which just allows him to fend off any attack. That is a surprise though from Ayres, and he's trying to go for it at a corner that you would not dream of doing it, and it's going to leave him vulnerable now to Lane O'Connor. He's trying to move through. Cullinan nearly loses it in the background. Malcolm as well. Robinson trying to get involved. For now, it seems like McFadden's going to be fine. O'Connor to the inside of Jamie Ayres. The two Mercedes side by side, and they've made contact, and Ayres has lost 2 positions in a couple of corners. Yeah, the amount of cones dispatched there. Oh dear. Oh, down the inside. Oh wow, that was a nice attack from Ayres, and it's put Robinson off. That was brilliant from Jamie Ayres. That was a really nice little tactic to just glance to the inside, and he's got the power through this turn 6, and he's going to be able to pull ahead.
You see, Ayres is very, very close, but he's a little bit scared, I think, because it might happen that O'Connor's car can glitch.
Inside of him.
Inside, yeah. That's a way to make a pass.
Deliberate, was it?
Oh man, he went straight through him and got the. Maybe that was the only way somebody could pass McFadden tonight, because he's making that Ferrari very, very large. Let's see a replay.
This must have been a mistake. Yeah, that was so a mistake. That was not a deliberate move. McFadden, though, could get pushed off a little bit.
Probably will not hit you, as Cullinan goes once again very wide there at the final corner, but I think he got a bit scared, because you see this car in the rearview mirror. It's suddenly so big. As he goes for a move on turn 1, he says, "You are." Oh,
Ayres goes through. ambitious move from a long way back into turn 1, and he was a long way back. Yeah, it's very clumsy there from Stuart. Yeah, it wasn't even on the bricks, was it? He was just a bit too eager to get on the throttle. He's been bang on. Malcolm, just watching this, he's not going to get involved in any unnecessary collisions. That's been his tactic for the entire season. And how has that profited him, Marco?
I had talked to him after last week's this week's MX5 race.
No, come on.
No.
Oh
Man.
we're so sorry. But here we go. Michael Abdoka going to come round the final few cars here at Motegi, and he's going to take another race victory. He's had a real upturn in pace these past few weeks, and here he comes, Michael Abdoka, to take race 1 here at Motegi. And what a good drive that was from him. So James Underhill round the final chicane now. Scott Malcolm along with him. They haven't gone too early here. When will he go? James Underhill from the pole position, and away we go for race 2 of the evening. It's not a great start. No, so they haven't gone. They all got on the brakes, and have gone. That was chaos, and Underhill has got to a horrendous start. Dima also got a poor start. It's Malcolm leading the race, but I wonder if that's going to be a jump start for him. There could be contact, and there is contact. The XBR drove around. Ayres was in there as well, but it's Malcolm in the lead with Robinson right on his tail. McFadden perhaps sees a potential race victory. Stuart McFadden down the inside of Colin Robinson, and they go into turn 5 now, and he has got that position.
Very surprised that there was nothing major, because you know,
change for the lead, sorry.
Yeah, change for the lead. Yeah, McFadden is in the lead.
He's now up into 5th position, up 5 places himself. Underhill is now down 6. What a chaotic first lap this is, and Dima's gone for the move, and that's a great move from Lee Dima on Colin Robinson.
And Malcolm went straight for the box, so he has a penalty.
And yeah, that's put his showdown chances maybe in a bit of jeopardy.
Synchronized spinning there. No contact, I think, between the two guys. Going to be very defensive here on the inside. Let's see what Abdoka has in store for him.
Going defensive straight away with Stuart McFadden. You can just about muscle your way around the outside here, and Abdoka's going to try to do it. He's going round the outside here, and that's going to be an awesome move from Abdoka. McFadden tries to force him off, and now it's going to be side by side going into this next section of course. If McFadden can just hang it round the outside, he's going to have a chance. Abdoka trying to stay in there, but just cutting him off is McFadden. Now heading down this pit straight, and I'm sure McFadden will go right to the inside, right to the pit wall. Abdoka looks to the inside. He cannot find a way through.
To McFadden, and there Ayres is flashing his lights to Abdoka as they go once again back to the double left-hander here that will bring them under the bridge for the first time of the 2 times they get under the bridge.
Oh, he's going to crash.
Hard hit for Abdoka.
Like it's going to be in the corner of the car.
He hit that wall at home.
Wasn't it?
Look at that, he went on the grass. Lost the drive a little bit even on the sand, and that was a very hard hit. And he's holding the wheel, you see on the right side, to go straight.
So he's right on the tail of Lee Dima. He's going to not qualify for the showdown. Either of these drivers, and Josh Thompson is going to look to the inside. Lee Dima not putting up much of a fight, and Thompson moves up into the top 3 positions. He was quite comfortable in the lead, seemingly had the pace to fend off his rival, but now this is super close. This is where McFadden hit Lane O'Connor in the last race, and look at Thompson. He's gaining. Not going to be in with a chance into turn 1, but someone who does fancy his chances is James. And now Thompson's going to go through 1. He's going to go through 2 maybe. This would be an incredible overtake. Josh Thompson takes the lead of the race from absolutely nowhere, and it's only taken him a handful of laps to go from the back of the grid to the front of the grid. And whilst these two carry on fighting once against one another, and there's going to be contact. Ayres is round. Dima moves up a position. Thompson in the lead.
Using the 2 dueling drivers as a pick basically, and getting into the corner in 3rd position and getting out of it in 1st position, as we see more contact there. I think that was Max Wright in his red car. Oh,
contact.
Stevens, save it. Oh man, in the gravel, 3 wide there, wasn't going to work, as McFadden is defending now from La Valle. And now he's blinking.
Yeah, We haven't talked too much about Labelli, and actually, this time McFadden not defending. That's very uncharacteristic of him today.
Evdoka extremely close to McFadden there. He had to lift, otherwise there would have been contact.
Oh, Labelli's off.
Levelli is off. Levelli had a very, very bad corner.
Oh,
Now
he's off
around
again, and he's hit the wall.
wall.
Well, he looked so strong, didn't he? And just lost it early on there. Maybe overheated the tyres a little bit. I just got on the grass and it's clumsy there, similar to what Evdoka did, but with far worse consequences.
Let's see how will McFadden defend, of course, like he always does. All on the inside. Great run from Evdoka.
This is a repeat of the situation they had earlier on in the race, but Evdoka that time didn't feel the confidence. Welcome back to the SR8 Elites, the final race of the SR8 Elites today here at Imola, broadcasting live on Apex Racing TV. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, and alongside me is Marco Barbnet with Sam Kumo on the cameras, and we're seeing two fantastic battles already today, Marco, between Nicole Foggy and Josh Thompson as well. And I think this final race is going to settle. He pretty much wins the meeting today.
Yes, it's going to be much cooler conditions, 30 degrees track temperature, 86 Fahrenheit if you use Freedom units. So, cooler track, hopefully a bit more grip. And I really want to see a head-to-head battle between Thompson, Evdoka and Foggy, with Thompson and Foggy, like we said earlier, I think have a little bit of an edge over Evdoka and the rest of the field, but with the full reverse, it's going to be tricky. There are not a lot of cars, like I said in the beginning, so the reverse isn't that big of a factor, but still, you have to make it through all those opponents in front of you, and you have to do it cleanly, as clean as possible, let's say. So those first few corners, the first lap, maybe the first 2-3 laps are going to be very interesting. And I tell you what, Sam, the one between Foggy, Evdoka and Thompson that is able to get to the front first will have a huge advantage, even though this is the longest race of the evening. But still, you want to get as big of a lead as possible, and if you are already up there and your opponents are still battling to make their way to the front, it could be a nice advantage to have later in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it was Thompson who got to the front first in the last race, and that proved decisive. In the first race, of course, Thompson did get into the lead initially. I'm currently being compared to a certain leader, a not very good one, so you can probably suss it out on the chat due to my controllingness of this race. Anyway, we are going to advance the session now because I can do that. And yeah, we are going to get the grid set very soon for these drivers. And unfortunately, JP Boostline could not be here for this this third race of the evening. So yeah, it'll be on the pole position, Dave Janssen then, with Alex Robbie starting in second position, Clyde Whiting starts in third, and then it's Michael Evdoka in fourth, and of course the two dual drivers, Nicole Foggy starting in fifth, and Josh Thompson in sixth place. I think we might already have all the drivers. No, we're still waiting for Alex Robbie. Here we go though, race 3 of the evening in the SR8 Elites. Oh, there's a bit of a jump start there for Evdoka. That's going to really cost him. That could be a jump start for him. And away we go. Janssen really away well. Nice start for him, although straight away trying to attack is Alex Robbie just behind. Also getting involved is Clyde Whiting, looking to the inside, but Robbie going for the lead into Tamburelli. And there's going to be contact between the two of them. Robbie might be off the circuit. He's just about going to hang on. Evdoka gets involved as well. He's on the outside and he's going to lose out. And Thompson nearly lost out. He nearly spun into the wall there, but he's just about going to have the inside line against Michael Evdoka. He has to back out of it. brilliant start, Marco.
Oh, Josh Thompson with a dive bomb on Alex Robbie at Tosa, and he's able to make it stick. So advantage Thompson, 2 cars between himself and Foggy, one of them being Evdoka. We'll see if he has a penalty or not. But Thompson is looking extremely fast, and you see the big damage on the right side of Robbie's car for that contact with Jansen in the beginning of the race, as Robbie is a bit wide, too wide. Oh, the Acqua Minerali corner really proving to be tricky today.
I did clear Michael's black flag. Don't know if he did actually have any or not, but I have cleared. Oh, Evdoka's a little bit off the circuit there, and he's lost out to Nico Foggy now, and Foggy's only 1.5 seconds off the lead. But yeah, Evdoka will not be getting a stop-go penalty. I've cleared his black flag because it's pretty clear to see that he did not gain an advantage from it. Jansen, well, he's led 1 lap. He'll be pretty pleased with that. I don't think he's going to lead anymore because Josh Thompson is right on his tail. How much pressure, or sorry, how much defense will Jansen put up? He's going to let Evdoka have the he's going to let Thompson have the inside there, and Josh Thompson's going to make that move and into the race lead. And now it's all about Nico Foggy making that move as soon as possible.
Okay, so Thompson, Jansen, Foggy, and Evdoka 1 through 4. Jansen is not letting up, but I think, of course, in the long run, Thompson will be able to get his superior pace and down and create a little bit of a gap. Foggy, of course, needs to close the gap and close the gap quickly. Of course, he has Evdoka right behind him, so under pressure, and of course, you want to avoid mistakes. We've seen a lot from everyone. Like I said, track is a bit cooler, so should have a bit more grip with this car, but you cannot let your guard down, especially in the tricky corners like this, the Acqua Minerali, and of course coming out of the Villeneuve chicane.
Yes, only it's 11 degrees cooler in this race. Yeah, 30 degrees Celsius, as you said earlier on. Marco, here comes Nico Foggy, and he's going to move up into 2nd position here. You can see a little bit of a bend on the rear wing of Dave Jansen. I don't know if that's just on my end or not, but Foggy is going to make that move, and Jansen might be able to retaliate it down the next pit straight. I don't think he will do. I don't think there's any points in him fighting that one. I've just realised I've messed up. It's only 15 laps this final race, not the 18 that it was supposed to be. So, it's different for the drivers, I guess, and it's a bit more a sprint race than the extra 3 laps, which of course would have made it into an endurance.
Okay, I thought I messed up myself because I said that this was the longest race of the evening in the presentation, and I said, oh, 15 laps. Probably I was wrong. Oh well, it happens, and of course this is going to put a lot more pressure on the drivers because they have less time, and maybe they can push a little too hard, knowing that they don't have to manage their tires for 3 extra laps. Having also the experience of race 2, similar distance but much hotter track, so who knows. What we know is that I think Jansen is going to be the next victim. I mean, Evdoka is going to be attacking Jansen, and I think he's about to lose another position. I think he'll, he's not slower than these guys, but you are right, the rear wing is a bit bent on the left side. So that contact with Robbie was particularly hard. Robbie's car in the right side is completely smashed. So that was a significant contact between the two, as Evdoka is trying to line up the move. And we go back here to the 5th and 6th driver. It's Whiting versus the previously mentioned Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie, well, in the last race at least was faster. We'll wait to see if the damage is costing him too much. I doubt he's got a meatball flag from his instant earlier on, and round goes Whiting. He's done pretty well there, not to hit the wall, was straight away on the brakes, and well, he's going to lose a lot of time there, to be honest. He's going to lose probably 10 seconds close to it. Not what Clyde Whiting wanted at all. Dave Jansen still holding on against Michael Evdoka. Evdoka really not getting that close down into the Tamburello chicane, surprisingly. He's not going to have a chance into Villeneuve either, because it's not really, it's a bit of no man land is Evdoka, but Jansen showing better pace, I'd say, in this 3rd race of the evening.
Absolutely. I'm waiting to see the lap times of the top two, but I mean, this rear wing damage doesn't seem to be affecting Johnson too much. I think also Doc has a bit of damage on the rear. I might have to watch it again. Maybe it's just the car livery that it's fooling me a bit. Oh no, he has damage on the rear left of the car.
Yeah, it just seems as though someone's gone into the back of him ever so slightly. When all these bats kind of, fizzle out and whatnot, I think we'll have a look back at that lap 1. But here comes Michael Avdoka then down the inside of Dave Janssen. This is where Janssen was overtaken by Foggy a few laps ago. And it looks like it's going to be Michael this time to go down the inside. And he has made that move. And, well, whether or not he'll be able to pull away now is another question. Can Janssen maybe repel this one? He's going to have a fantastic slipstream. Not necessarily going to have a great slingshot though, but he will be able to draw alongside him nice and early down the pit straight. And these two should be pretty level on speed now. Down into turn 1. Avdoka usually very good on the brakes down into turn 1, and he's good on the brakes once again. Janssen,
They touch!
and he has got involved, and they've both gone spinning. Will Alex Robbie be able to profit from this one? Avdoka's back going again. Robbie is going to get past the pair of them, and just seemingly a mistake. I think that was Janssen's fault. I think Marco will have to see a replay.
I think he overshot his braking a little bit, but let's see the replay. So Avdoka was clearly through, but Avdoka's line, of course, forced him to slow a bit in order to make the corner. And I think that Janssen had a little bit too much speed through that corner as well. So I'd say a 60-40 incident fault percentage. Too bad. A bad day at the office all around, all considered for Michael Avdoka, I'd say. And of course, his car was damaged already in the beginning of the race, but now you see even more damage. So it's going to be a struggle from now until the checkered flag. He might go and catch Robbie, but of course that victory is out of the question now.
Yeah, absolutely, unless the top two really have a big incident. It just seems as though Avdoka was a little bit slow coming out to the first part of the Temporilla chicane. And that just kind of caught out Janssen a bit. Janssen's going to be probably the worse off in that instant, getting a little bit more nose damage, although it wasn't a massive hit, so he should be okay to continue. Out in the lead. It's closing up? Yeah, is that a word? I'm not sure. It's closer than it was before. It's only half a second, sorry. And yeah, on that last lap, Foggy was 0.3 faster. The slipstream once again just going to invite some close. And I'm hoping, Marco, this race is going to go on till the very last lap. As long as these two don't make any mistakes, that's almost a guarantee.
Yeah, keep it clean, boys, and have a good fight. It was a fantastic lap by Foggy. He got 0.3 over Thompson in this last lap. And that was also Thompson's fastest lap of the race, even though I think he might have had some similar laps earlier, but marred by a 1x here and there, so they don't count towards the official fastest lap standings, because those were 0.3 faster, and I mean, Foggy is looking extremely quick, putting on the pressure, and he knows he's a bit faster, I think. He also knows of his previous mistakes. Of course, race 2 wasn't really his fault what happened. So if he keeps it cool, he has, I think, a great chance. I think problems for Robbie right now. I think he went wide, but also Avdoka might have some problems. Let's see. Did they make contact?
Yeah, because Janssen and Whiting are really close to them now. Oh, very big mistake there from Michael Avdoka. That was very clumsy there. And he, to be fair, waited for Robbie to get back going. There's probably no damage to either car, really. He's going to get a bit of slow down there. Avdoka, he is still ahead of Whiting. We should go back to the race lead, though, because it's only 0.2 of a second. It's less than that now. Thompson managed to survive through turn 1. He's just about survived through Villeneuve chicane as well. But maybe even into the hairpin. Thompson feeling the need to go defensive. But as long as you just get a decent exit from this one, you should be okay. And yeah, for now, Josh Thompson survives. Behind that, though, it is super close. It's 26 seconds back to Michael Abducker. Robbie's had a big instant. He's into the pit, so that must have just been a meatball, I think, Marco.
Yeah, I think that contact from behind damaged the suspensions. And that was all she wrote for Robbie. Of course, fast repair back out, but he's very, very far away from the rest of the pack. As you see, Foggy is looking for a place to go. As Thompson is jumping very high in the curves, but if I was Foggy, I would wait a bit and maybe go for that move in the first chicane, because the slipstream, like you said, it's extremely important and significant around here with this car. And that's maybe the only place where you can really get a good run going.
Yeah, he's a little bit further back than he'd like. He was about half a second behind, just coming out of the final corner there.
Look at this, look how fast he's closing in.
He's going to be right on him, and he might be able to have a chance going round the outside now. Nick or Foggy. Can Thompson manage to push him out? He can't. Foggy's going to make the move, surely, but Thompson hanging on in there. They're side by side going into Villeneuve. Foggy's got the overspeed. Thompson's got the inside. He's going to win in this battle. Thompson's trying to fight back. Down the inside goes Josh Thompson, but he's not going to be able to make the move because Foggy was superb around the outside once again. This one is continuing, though, and a brilliant dummy there from Josh Thompson to switch down to the inside. And coming out of the toaster hairpin, Foggy moves back ahead again, and he should be okay going into Piratella. What a fantastic section of corners there, Marco, side by side. And it seems as though Foggy's got the lead, but I'm sure Thompson's going to be able to fight back soon.
That is commercial worthy stuff. Amazing racing between these two guys, and great guts by Foggy to keep the foot on the pedal even when Thompson was launching the car on his outside and on his inside then at the Villeneuve chicane. Oh, a bit of a mistake there from Foggy, and I think it's also going to be a slowdown. Thompson back in the lead.
I think he's got away with the slowdown, but he wants the lead back. Thompson, it has been so much better through that chicane. That's kind of one corner where he's got an advantage. Foggy's going to try to go around the outside here. An insane move this from Nick or Foggy. Is he going to get a good run out of it? Not really. They're side by side now. Through Viriante Bassa. Absolutely superb. It's all going to resume this battle down into turn 1. Who's got the better line? Foggy managed to muscle his way around the outside on the last lap.
Oh, contact!
Not going to let him do that again. And a little bit of contact maybe between the two of them. And all of a sudden, Josh Thompson has got a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, quite clearly lag contact, but contact nonetheless, and Foggy had to lift. So this gives Thompson a little bit of breathing room. The cars seem to be fine. And now Foggy will be back and pushing that gas pedal down, trying to close the gap once again. I mean, some fantastic racing, and now a battle for P4.
Janssen trying to make the move on Whiteton, because Janssen had that bit of an instant with Abducker. Whiteton's been superb today in terms of not getting involved in collisions. I feel this one could potentially end in tears, because Whiting's considerably slower, I think about a second or more. But Janssen running kind of out of laps, because this race not as long as it should have been due to my, being an idiot. But Whiting is hanging on in there at the moment, 0.2 of a second between the pair of them. Really no opportunity down the hill here, going into Acqua Minerale. But maybe a slightly better run. If you're going to go for a move into the Viriante Alta, you got to be very brave. You got to be fully alongside. Tires like down to here are not advised. Taking as little curve as possible, and that's actually helped him here. Janssen, he's on the outside, and he's going to pull level with his rival. He's going to not have the ideal line, but we saw, of course, Foggy being able to muscle his way around the outside here very nearly on the previous lap. And maybe he's going to try the same here, Janssen. No, he's just going to try to get the cut back, and he's going to be happy just to sit behind his rival through the final corner, through Ravazza. And now they'll pull alongside. across the start-finish line they'll approach. Oh, trying to get the cut back there was Janssen. Maybe not the wise decision, because it nearly ended up in a collision, but he's got the superb line here. Whiting's going to have to try to muscle his way around the outside, but he's just about let Janssen have it. He takes a little bit too much curb, but he's got that fourth position now.
Wow, this race 3 is really delivering on its promises, and it's some fantastic racing all over the field. Great move there by Janssen, and you know the mistake from Whiting, a rare mistake today from Whiting at the Variante Alta, and he paid for it coming into the first corner basically. Another great duel between these drivers here. Let's see if Janssen will be able to pull a little gap, and hopefully for him, have some smooth sailing from now until the end of the race. 5 laps left in this third and final race of the evening, and I say that Foggy and Thompson are back at it once again, because Foggy will get all the slipstream this time around again on the front stretch.
Yeah, it was about 6/10 coming out of Rivazza. It's down to 3/10 now. Not close enough, but he's certainly in range now, is Foggy. He's dragged himself ever so slightly closer. It was up to about a second at one point, but it's pretty clear that Nico Foggy has got the pace advantage, even if it is just a 10th per lap. And he's been a little bit more relentless as well than Thompson. Just been absolutely error-free so far today. Was Thompson made this couple of mistakes in race 1. He was a little bit wide through Villeneuve. Half a second between the pair of them.
Just following his opponent is what Foggy is doing through the Piratella and the Acqua Minerali. Of course, yeah, you can go for a move there, but you have to be absolutely desperate, like last lap stuff of the last race of the championship, basically. And also here at the Variante Alta, you can put pressure on your opponent, but like you see, Thompson was a little bit hard on the curbs there, maybe lost a bit of time. I tell you what, I think that this could be a good run for Foggy coming out of Rivazza 2 and maybe go for a move into the Tamburello.
Yeah, this is really lining up nicely for him. Difficult to tell what the distance you want, because you'll see here, he's going to have quite a slingshot. It's 0.4 of a second for Nico Foggy, but he's certainly going to get alongside at the very least. It's how far ahead he can get. Will Thompson go defensive? He is going to go defensive. He wants that inside line, and Nico Foggy will close. They'll go side by side into the Tamburello chicane. Trying to get the cut back there was Foggy. Got a slightly better run out, and he's going to be able to pressure his rival going into the Villeneuve chicane. Got to go defensive there, Thompson. He was a little bit late to fend that one off, but Foggy unable to go around the outside like he did earlier on. Thompson got to go defensive again into the Tosa hairpin. And will Foggy be able to get a better run out of this one? It's a little bit wide, is Thompson. He's going to have to go defensive again. If he can just defend into this one, he should be okay for about half a lap. But we saw Thompson make the move on Evdoka earlier on around the outside through this corner. This time he can't, and going into Acqua Minerale, as long as he covers off this one, he should be okay. Foggy's got to go and try to go around the outside. Can't make it. All about just lining it up for the pit straight now. Variante Alta. Thompson managed to pull away a little bit. It's down to 0.3 of a second. Remember, it was 0.4 of a second coming out of Rivazza on the last lap. I think it's going to be a lot closer than that now. It's just over 0.3 of a second. Not quite the exit that Foggy wanted, but he is going to be alongside at the very least by the end of this straight. Thompson knows what to do. He knows he's just got to go super defensive. Foggy knows that he's got to just hang it round the outside through the first part of Tamburello. Thompson super late on the brakes, and he could lose out this time. Foggy round the outside through the second part, and unless Thompson can get a superb run out of here, Foggy's going to take back that race lead.
I think Thompson is going to dive in this chicane here. Oh well, this is extremely close stuff. Foggy is able to stay ahead. Let's watch for the Tosa. Foggy is covering the inside. Smart move. can we add a couple more laps, race admin, please? This race, because it is fantastic stuff.
Can I do that? I'm gonna see. I don't think I can. But this is superb from Thompson. He's gonna try the same move as he did on Evdoka, and he might just have the ideal line going into Aqua Minerale. Will either of them pull out? No, they're not. They're still side by side. Thompson gonna try to push him out. They could have so easily been contact there, but Thompson had the awareness not to push right out to the outside. And he's going to have to go defensive once again. Of course, no move around the outside into this one. And Foggy's going to have to do it all over again.
Wow, so Foggy is clearly faster in the first part of the lap, but Thompson is fast and crazy enough to stay in front in the second part of the lap. A perfect mix, I think. And 2 more laps of this coming out of Rivazza 2 right now.
Gap less than 3/10. It's about half a tenth smaller than it was on the last lap. Foggy will draw level. Thompson desperate to keep that inside line. He can go around the outside, but if Foggy is going to do it, Thompson is just surely going to run him off the road if he gets half a chance. Thompson super late on the brakes again, and he's locked up a little bit. Foggy couldn't quite keep his nose in there, almost running off the circuit through the second part is Thompson, and he's going to have to go on the defense going into the Villeneuve chicane once again. What a show these two drivers are putting on for us. Foggy trying to hang around the outside there and going into the Tosa hairpin. He could go for a dive, not being the need for Thompson to defend, and that was a good call.
Yeah, good run from Foggy coming out of the Tosa. Side by side once again going uphill.
Is he going to do the Thompson move? Yes, he is. He's going to go around the outside, and he's surely going to take back the race lead. Is Nicole Foggy changing every half a lap seemingly right now, and Foggy has retaken that race lead. We haven't got long to go. We've got 1.5 laps to go, and Thompson's going to have to respond very, very soon.
Yes, Evdoka 30 seconds behind, so these guys have a lot of breathing room, even if the worst things possible happen. Look at a great run from Thompson. Now we will have the slipstream on the outside of the Rivazza 1, side by side. Little bit of side contact. Has Thompson done it? Oh, they're going to be side by side. Oh! No! Foggy defense.
Well, you said Evdoka's not within sight. You should be okay, Foggy. That's the end of the battle, though. Looks like Josh Thompson's going to take away this race 3.
Oh, they both risked going to defense. Thompson saved it, and Foggy sadly didn't save it. So, almost a disaster for both guys.
We've got to thank them, though, for the show that they put on. What an incredible run of laps that was. We could not take our eyes away from it. But just a mistake from Nicole Foggy, his first of the day. I don't think I've seen him make a half mistake so far today. It's been absolutely faultless from him. But it's going to be Josh Thompson. I think Marco, once again, with his racecraft, I've applauded him a lot of the time in the BSR GT, because whilst not being the fastest driver every week, he's always got the best racecraft to win races right from the back, despite not being the fastest driver. And we've seen that once again today.
Yes, and I think even with a small number grid, we had a fantastic show tonight, and all 3 races had awesome battles. This is making me want to run that radical first thing I do after the broadcast, because this car is super fun, and hopefully more people will join us in the future, as Thompson is through the final 2 corners of this 3rd and final race of the evening.
He will exit Rivazza here. He won race 1, did Josh Thompson. Sorry, race 2 he won. He finished 2nd in race 1. He's going to take home race 3 here, Josh Thompson. Fantastic drive from him. Brilliant battling against Nicole Foggy, who will finish quite far behind, but that does not explain the story of this race. Still got a bit of a battle going on. Clyde White having to defend from Dave Janssen, not too far behind Michael Evdoka either. Can Janssen respond? He made a mistake, I think, which allowed a back pass to Clyde Whiting. And Whiting should be okay going through Rivazza. It's going to be the run to the line. It's going to be Jansen's final chance, but just making a small mistake is Jansen, and he's round.
They both around. Oh
Who
man.
can get back going again? It's going to be Whiting. An incredible end to this race. Oh, he's crabbing along, and that might cost him the position. Let's see, Whiting all out of position, and Jansen's going to go past.
No!
Contact again. I think
Oh,
it's going to be
man.
Whiting still, though. No, it's going to be Jansen, surely. No, he can't go straight.
Have you ever?
Have they crossed the line yet? They've crossed the line. It was Whiting who got it. Wow.
I think that this third race delivered on its promises and more. What an awesome battle all over the field from beginning to the end of the race.
What a finish. Front and back. And yeah, we can now go through the results for you. Josh Thompson takes home his second race victory of the evening. Nicole Forkey ends up in second. Michael Avdoka finishes in third. Good podium from him, with Clyde Whiting, well, what can you say, somehow finishing in fourth place. Dave Jansen finishes in fifth from pole position, with Alex Welby unfortunately retiring with 4 laps to go in sixth place. Hopefully we'll get some interviews, and we usually get an interview from Josh Thompson, and we're not going to get an interview with him today, seemingly, but we are going to get an interview with Alex Welby. And Alex, well done out there. How did you find the car check combination? We saw a lot of drivers struggle out there today.
Yeah, for starters, good evening, everyone. Yeah, that was it's actually the first race I've ever done in the Radical period, to be honest. So, yeah, that was tough. That was tough on my wrists, even from it. It was that crazy. And yeah, I just want to say thanks to the organisers. That was a lot of fun. That was good racing, up and down the field, and that fight at the end with the leaders. Wasn't that exciting?
So that was your first race in the Radical then. Do you think you're going to give it a try? Because, yeah, of course it's a bit of a handful, but what were your impressions of the car?
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of practice in the car, I just hadn't actually raced it yet. And it's a really good little track car. I come from BSRTC, so Mazda Cup originally. So stepping up to this car, definitely a lot of fun, very grippy, very fast. Yeah, I would probably recommend it as a real good stepping stone into the Formula 1 car, for example. So, yeah, really good car.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the racecraft out there was superb. The slipstream, in fact, pretty strong in this car, you can say. And yeah, you had some good battles out there. Any battles which really stood out for you?
Yeah, me and Clyde kept meeting on track, definitely. So I have to say, particularly in the last race there, unfortunately I got hit as well by, I need to find the name actually, by Evdoka, so sorry if I mispronounced that, and no hard feelings to that either, you know, it happens. I braked quite early, but there was fights for up and out with loads of people I had, so I enjoyed it. It was good clean racing, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great evening of racing. And before we let you go, Alex, anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, would like to thank my guys, my friends at Oversteer, who are helping support and build this new team that we're doing. This is actually the first race of the AR76 Oversteer group, so yeah, hopefully those two names will appear in many races to come. And I'm also shout out to the guys in the V8 Euro Supercar Series. I look forward to joining them for their next race and the rest of the season onwards. So I'll see you guys all soon on that one.
Good choice.
Yes. Oh, actually, will you be running the Ford or the Holden?
We will be running the Ford. That's the plan.
Yes! Yes!
Okay, you got preference then, Alex. Well done. And yeah, we'll see you on Saturday.
Before I go real quick, just want to say it's actually nice to talk to Marco for once, because I know we had quite a few fights in the BSRTC. I think we met each other on the last lap twice in the last 2 rounds. So it's nice to actually talk to you for once.
BSRTC, I do the Mazdas every once in a while, but
Yeah.
BSRTC, I mean, Luckily, I will be stepping out of the car for next season and into the commentary booth for the Mazdas. So I will take my dangerous driving style out of the track and back into the booth, which is where I belong, I think. So.
Fair play, but thank you again, guys, for an amazing evening.
Yeah, thanks, Alex, and yeah, see you next weekend. We've also got Josh Thompson, Nick Opoy. I think we'll invite both of them into the group. And yeah, well done, guys, and thanks for putting on that show. It was a fantastic battle.
No words. Just we saved it for the last race, and there you go. There's the result.
It was amazing battle. One of the best battles I've had in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the slipstream effect, let's face it, neither of you were ever going to pull away from one another, and you were just destined to fight against each other, swapping positions lap after lap. And you were overtaking around corners where we were just denying it was possible. So yeah, pretty incredible.
Yeah, the draft was just unreal. I was saying before we got dragged up, like in race 2, I thought, of course, going to get past me and Michael into turn 1, just how much the overlap is. You just, at the start of the straight, it's not too bad. You get to as it starts to kink left, you look in your mirror, it's like it's coming really fast now. So, yeah. But the last lap, I was saying over the radio after the race, like, who goes side by side in the middle part of the lap here? I was like, are we actually doing this?
I know.
But nah, that was absolutely fantastic. So worth it.
Yeah, and Josh, you're comparing it to the F1 car, of course. Sorry for the second race conditions. I, of course, didn't control
It was
it.
like WCS tyre wear management. Jesus Christ. I was like, just tiptoe. But nah, it was definitely a lot more harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a bit easier because obviously the cooler conditions. But like I was showing in race 1, anything can catch you out. That with dirty air is so significant when you're on your own.
Definitely.
Yeah, like Nico's probably going to say, like I made the tiniest mistake, nearly the exact same thing I did in race 1 when he got in front of me. Literally the exact same snap and understeer. So it was just anyone's game, really.
Yeah, it's an amazing car to drive. That's the second time I've driven it. I drove it in one official series race, and I learned about the sort of snap oversteer you can get on acceleration and stuff. So it's quite a twitchy car, but once you get used to it, the racing side by side, as you saw, is just so fun, and it's a really fun car to drive as well. And I imagine with a proper setup, it would be even more fun as well. But that setup was actually all right. Just the base. Was it high downforce? Yeah.
Yeah, just the pogo in was the annoying thing on throttle.
Yeah.
That was the only thing. Besides that, no issue at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, it was you two Jars haven't driven it too much. Do you think you'll consider maybe running the official series at all, or still very much running your own cars?
Do many people drive the official series?
It's getting better, I think.
It was. It had a broadcast. I used to have an SOF on RaceSpot, but they dropped it now. That's why. It was last season when it first that season. But nah, to me, I will probably give it a lap, like a few runs here or there. But obviously, we've now announced I'm doing Pro Rallycross and doing Pro F1 again. I'll probably won't have much time.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'll probably give it a wee go at some point if I've got time. Definitely, it's a really fun car.
You'll get a 4X in turn 1 anyway if we try and do what we did. You end up in the wall.
Yeah, and of course, you two have been fighting against each other in the World GT quite a bit. This battle, this rivalry has evolved quite well.
It's just good. It's just nice to actually have someone you can race against as well as competing against for a championship. You don't usually get a bit of both. You usually have one or the other. So, to me, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, same with me. Yeah, I think, and this is the first sort of competition, well, the tournament, and then the side stuff we do as well. Just having somebody that's there. That's always you're going to have a good battle with, and competing against each other in the tournament as well. So yeah, it's really good having this.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank? Firstly, Josh.
Oh, I thought you were going to give Nickel. I've got a long list to go through here. Alright, so first off, I say thank you to you guys for organising this. Shame there's not as many people as we thought, and I think, to be honest, they missed out because we proved it was possible to go side by side the entire lap here, which you can't say you can do in many other things. Nicole also for making it actually staying, because some people bailed out the race and stuff like that, so thank you to you for staying. Same with everyone else who raced. And then Radicals Online, and the biggest shout probably to Simul.
Nice. So yeah, I want to say thanks. Yeah, thanks to Josh. Great race. Thanks to everyone else for staying with the small turnout, but it was still pretty fun. Well, great fun, and yeah, thanks to you guys as well for running the event. And thanks to XVR. I think they were all supposed to race, but none of them showed up. So, but thank them.
I wonder
anyway.
where Johnny was. Johnny was in the practice yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's racing the V8s in was it Scots?
Oh, qualifiers, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's got it tomorrow morning as well. He's got to get up early, so he doesn't want to wake up with just having done the Radical and have to try get back into the V8s again. So
Yeah,
that's why he's not there anyway. Yeah.
Do we both win crowns then?
Do you want me to get a couple of
Yes.
Christmas crackers and
You've
send you
been
over
mad
some
with
crowns?
power.
I will do that, okay?
That'd be brilliant.
Okay, that's happening now.
You've been mad with power, so you said you were going to do it, so I'm putting your word to it.
Fine, okay. I'm going for it. I'm going on Amazon after this race. So we will see you both soon on Apex Racing TV Monday for World GT.
Yeah.
Will do.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. See you both then.
Yeah. Thank you. See you later, guys.
Yeah, thanks very much.
So, Mark, I think that pretty much rounds us off. And of course, yeah, only 7 cars for this race, but it was some of the best racing I think I've ever seen as a broadcaster.
Yeah, the quality was fantastic all over the field, and the battles were great in race 1 and race 2, and fantastic in race 3. I mean, and it's great to hear the Foggy and Thompson post-race in the interviews being very light-hearted about it and respecting each other, knowing that they just had a fantastic battle, and hopefully, like I said in the beginning, more people will have interest in the car, and maybe starting a league in the next few months. Who knows? But because challenging car to drive, extremely rewarding car to drive, and these battles were simply fantastic all over the field. So here is to more of the same in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. If we can make a league out of this, that would be absolutely superb. So certainly, if you're interested, let us know, and we'll note that. And yeah, we'll see if we can get something going. But for now, we will be back on Monday. Nothing tomorrow, unfortunately, because it's week 13. But on Monday we've got World GT back, and then it'll be normal service resumed. I think we've got the BSR stuff on Tuesday and Thursday, and the OV8s as well on Saturday. But for now, from me, from Marke, and from Sam, we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.